Two Queers and a Truck. And I'm Billy James Gunn, and my sidekick, Christian Cano, partner in crime, is coming up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Jim's sidekick. Welcome to Two Queers in a Truck. Hi y'all.
See you soon.
Good morning, everybody. It is Two Queers on a Truck time, and wanted to thank our guest from last week, Bobby.
That was interesting. That was kind of educational for us. I mean, we're not always
phenomenal reminders of history and what is going on that gets forgotten. It's really amazing to look upon that and really think about what's going on now and realize, it was screwed up then, and it's pretty fucked up now. So we definitely have got a lot to learn about history. But those are great reminders. You know, the bigotry has existed for a long time, and hopefully someday we'll get a Star Trek ideal, and this kind of stuff won't exist anymore, and we'll just take care of each other. But anyway, speaking of stupid consequences, in Indiana, Trump was trying to gin up support against 8 different state senators that are running for re-election that opposed his gerrymandering election fraud vote, and not having much success. In fact, most people in Indiana are ignoring Trump. So much so that his little rally, 4 people attended it. And I didn't say 40 or 400. They had a meetup in Indiana that was the anti-state senator one. 4 people showed up. 4 humans. That's how far the dumpster has fallen in the state of Indiana. But the state's also very agriculturally based too, and I'm sure they feel betrayed, and as they should. And I think, and I said this before, in the end, it'll be Republicans, MAGAs, that will turn on each other. We're seeing it with Joe Rogan. We're seeing it with so many that are now going on tour that are basically speaking out against Trump. I mean, they've been in Trump for years, and now they're speaking out against him. So they're definitely not heroes. But I think in the party of we'll eat each other's faces off because we're leopards, I think we're seeing the implosion. We're seeing the desperation. We're seeing the extremes that this administration is willing to go to keep their administration alive and their movement alive, and it's failing, and it's I think they're realizing how bad it is and how brutal the midterms may be, and which means we need to keep the gas on because whatever we're doing is working. You know, we can't let up. We can't see these as a chance to not support progressives or think, oh, we're okay. It's gonna defeat itself. That's not the way this works. But we are seeing the signs of defeat and desperation, which is really good. The fact that 4 people, 6 years ago in 2020, there probably would have been 6,000 or 7,000 people at this indoor event, all giving each other COVID. But now, we literally saw Republican donors die because
Yeah.
of going to rallies in 2020, like that founder of Godfather's Pizza that went to a major indoor rally and then died a few days later or a few weeks later of COVID. Now, people won't even be bothered when they probably have nothing better to do in Indiana, since about 40% of their farmers are bankrupt. There 4 people show up.
Yeah.
4 people show up. And that's pretty extraordinary. Times are changing. Hopefully we keep seeing this. And, we need to make sure we're supporting progressive candidates. We need to make sure we're highlighting what's going on. As our guest stated, we need to be digging up these past things to talk about them and say, this is how we got here. This is the roadmap. This is the origin story of what has happened in America. Let's make sure we're aware of what's going on.
So, Gersemi, do you feel like does it feel to you? I know I've asked you this question, but does it feel to you in 2026 you are seeing the pendulum starting to swing finally back to back against the MAGA movement? Do you think the pendulum peaked in the 2025 and now it's starting slowly to swing back?
I think it peaked a long time ago.
Okay.
I mean, I think what keeps it alive, though, is the other side having apathy. I think it's been dying. I mean, Trump got less votes in 2024 than he got in 2020. But the problem was Harris got 18 million less votes.
Yeah.
That was the problem than Biden. Is that, yes, I believe he was not as popular that he was in 2016 and 2020. I think his movement has been dying for a long while. I think his credibility has been dying for a long while. I think he peaked quite a while ago. I think he peaked probably in 2018 or 2019. But because the shameful problem is that, one, they tricked the Democrat Party to switching from Biden to Harris. They ginned up fake support for that and then used that against us because we ran somebody that couldn't stand up to the scrutiny that we could get. She didn't have enough time to campaign as the presidential nominee. I mean, had to shorten and take out parts that normally a candidate would have to build their resume, like running in primaries and all that. So she didn't get the bump of that. She didn't have the bump of running for president for a year. She only got a few weeks. She basically got a primary season that's 6 to 7 months long. She basically did a coronation ceremony process for about 3 weeks. And then we expected her to win. And it's not Harris's fault. She got thrust into it. It was the Democrats' fault for capitulating. We've got to stop doing things like that. We got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. We're on the right side of history, but we're not always on the right side of decisions. Dumb can be dangerous. And it was a dumb decision in 2024 in hindsight. Is if we're going to make Biden not run or step down, that conversation should have happened in 2023 after the midterm debacle and so many other things. But the reason I'm bringing that up now is because we can't just depend on Republicans collapsing. That's not a strategy. Yes, they are collapsing. But they were collapsing in 2024. He was not a viable candidate. He should not have won. He should have gotten blown out. But we screwed up and changed our process and changed horses, not even midstream. It was almost at the end of the stream. We were almost to the salmon spawning place. And then we said, oh, a few weeks before the nomination process, let's just change candidates. And thought that would work. And let's do it with a woman and a woman of color that did not get the due diligence that she deserved. She didn't get to go through the process that she deserved that would have built her resume. But we are up against our first break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers in a Truck after this important message. Hey, everybody, you can catch us on your favorite audio podcast platform, Spotify, and all Apple Store, the Google machine, and whoever else does podcasts. We're on there. We broke in, and we're staying. So enjoy the Two Queers in a Truck on your favorite audio podcast platform. Thanks for listening or watching. Bye, boo. Happy time.
Hi, this is Urine Pascual Mateo. I am back. Spedicare is back in 2026, and yes, my hiatus was sad, and it was caused by a bunch of, I know, butthurt losers, but I'm not going to say that. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm going to be annoying. I'm going to say fuck fascism, and I'm going to stand up against this shit. So please, like, subscribe, enjoy my show, and let's fight against the bullshit that we continue to live with.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening to Two Queers in a Truck. And we do broadcast on YouTube and Facebook in a video version. And we're also on all the audio platforms out there. So your favorite way to listen to your podcast. We've been doing this for a couple years, and we appreciate y'all listening. We know you have a ton of choices, even though we may be the best choice. We always appreciate our listeners, and we'll try to bring you quality in the future. Thanks for listening. As always, Christian and Jenny, we're out. Thank y'all. And if we believe for a moment that just because they're not at their peak performance and that Trump doesn't have the physical ability to go out campaign the way he used to, that they're still not a wounded animal is still a dangerous animal. In fact, they're more dangerous then than they are now, than they were back in the day. We have to remember that. We have to do our part. We didn't do our part in 2016, and we didn't do our part in 2024. We screwed up in so many ways for a candidate that even Fox News in 2016 said there's no way Trump's going to get the majority of the vote. They were doubting he'd even get the nomination. So we can't let their incompetence empower us to be incompetent. Because that's what happens with Democrats. Democrats think, oh, it's time to stop running the race. Right in the most critical part of when you should be running your fastest. We slow down for some reason and let them catch up. Which is why we lost in 2 of those 3 elections. We allowed them to catch up. And it shouldn't have happened. Speaking of farmers, 1 out of 4 farmers have not even done their fertilizer purchases for next spring. 46% of American farms are in bankruptcy in 2026. And we've lost 160,000 family farms since 2017, since the era of MAGA. Are we winning yet? Are we, how'd those tariffs work out? Are they working out probably just as good as Iran? As we're losing military base after military base in the Middle East. We're both a disaster militarily, and we're a disaster as a country economically. A lot of people said, I told you so. I'm one of them. You definitely could see this coming. But we need to say this for what it is. Trump was a failure in the business world. He's a failure as a president. He's an absolute, unmitigated failure as a president. But that should not empower us. We've still got to run our own race. In fact, that should want us to push harder. Push way harder to take back Congress. And do the things we need to do to stop this craziness. Make sure all of his appointments from then on then, they don't make it through if they're not qualified. Because he's got an entire staff of people in his cabinet that are completely unqualified to do anything. They're so incompetent, it's scary. That even the Trump administration is recognizing it and starting to demote and fire people. That's pretty sad because everybody has a sycophant and a lackey and a coward. And he's trying to get absolute control of the Republican Party here at the end before he exits stage left. Who he's planning on handing it over to, I don't know. But he's definitely trying to consolidate the Republican Party one last time. Which means he's panicking. He's panicking because we're getting shellacked in Iran. Iran's absolutely making a fool out of him. Because we're doing everything wrong. Even attacking Iran was wrong. It was stupid. And we had no plan. We had no plan on how to get in. We have no plan on how to get out. We are a ship without a sail or a rudder as far as what's going on in our country. But more good news. Trump's big Doral golf tournament, in which he put a $20 million purse out there for the winner. Almost every major golfer, which the golfers don't necessarily have the greatest ethics in the world. Usually money talks. They did not show up. It's considered an epic failure as far as golf and golf history is concerned. And the Doral tournament used to be a pretty decent tournament, and now it's just turned into a laughingstock because it's his tournament and he's attached to it. And I think it's great. It's symbolic of what's going on with this guy. That even in his sleazy golf motel and his own tournament, he can't even gin up sport for his golf business. And I'd say that's how far he's fallen. And it's absolutely wild. It's a metaphor for where this administration's going and where the Republican Party's going. I mean, the MAGA movement, we still need to be demanding, justice for the Epstein victims. We still need to be pursuing all the people involved with it, all the billionaires involved with it. All the names need to be released, and the files have to be unredacted when they're released. The editing them is not healthy. It's not healthy for democracy. If these people acquired power by burying this, we need to make sure everybody that's on that list, that's in those files, if they felt it was okay to do what they did, then they need to live through the public scrutiny. And then, that's what they do to LGBT people all the time. They put us in the news, they put us up on websites, they attack our character, they attack our personalities, and all that. We live as a queer person out in the public eye, both Christian and I, face scrutiny all the time just because of who we are. We've found that in the political world too. And definitely doing these shows makes us a target just for who we are. Well, those people are pedophiles. Everybody involved with that Epstein thing, they're pedophiles. They need to face that scrutiny. They need to live the way we have to live. which is, hey, we get a lot of pushback because of who we are. They should too. They should not be an exception just because they're wealthy. The Epstein Trump Island debacle and the Zorro Ranch, it has to stay in the news cycle. It has to be talked about. One, because we need to change their names. Example, everybody on that list needs to face scrutiny. They need to answer for whatever association they had, whatever they did. Those 3 million plus emails have to be exposed. There's no other way. There's no benefit in bringing it all up if we're not going to go full force and hold accountable for the crimes and cruelty that existed in those operations that Trump funded, that Trump helped, invest into these operations. And so we have to literally make sure that had the public known all this and had gone public when it was being investigated by Florida, do you think he would have gotten elected in 2016? He probably wouldn't even have his TV show anymore if that had become public, which was the platform he jumped from, the TV show to being a presidential candidate. NBC Universal probably would have stripped him of the show for sure. Had this really been investigated and prosecuted by State Attorney General of Florida, Pam Bondi. Yeah, you heard that right. She's buried the bodies before. We are up against our second break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers in a Truck after these important messages. Hey y'all, this is Jetty with Two Queers in a Truck, and Christian's along with me, and we're just having fun, and we're looking forward to the 2025 season, and super excited. We have some neat things going on in our whole family of shows, including Coffee and Pan Dulce, and many new shows that are brewing. Get it, and we are excited for 2025 and all the chicanery and other things that comes with it. So happy New Year, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye y'all.
Bye y'all. Bye boo.
Bye boo.
All right, we'll just come back for about 2 minutes, and then we'll take our last break, and then we'll end the show.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, we'll come back for just a couple of minutes, and we'll end. Here we go.
Good job. Great intro. All right. Come back, talk about Epstein.
Okay. Epstein.
I'm going to start recording. Good job, y'all. All right, we're at the 18-minute mark. Tony, the second half, do you want to switch it to more national conversations? Because you were talking about Charlotte, or do you want to stay on Charlotte? Or edited. And once again, I know your time is valuable.
What is language like? I have a potty mouth, so let me know. Are y'all?
We don't. Where we don't mind. Is that right, Gersemi?
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'll try to refrain since it's the Christmas season.
Exactly.
All right. And by the way, I just want you to know this is the earliest interview I've ever done in my life.
Oh my goodness.
And this is the Jenny Award.
I'm quite honored to have a conversation with Jojo Garza. He's with the Grammy Award-winning Los Lonely Boys, and actually, I believe you're in San Angelo, Texas. Is that correct?
Yeah, man, I'm here at home right now.
Well, welcome to Que Pasa, Mr. Garza. Listen, I have to admit that I grew up in Texas. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, a native Texan, and Tejano, I guess that's what I grew up calling myself. And there was always this confusion. Is San Angelo Central Texas or is it West Texas?
Well, you're right about that. There's always like a bit of confusion about it.
And this is the Pendejo Chronicles.
But talking about this is important, just like our guest last week. Talking about these tragedies in history, talking about the suppression, talking about the subversion, Red Scares, Lavender Scares, all that apply to now because we've not learned the lessons from those historical moments. We have to learn a lesson from these important moments. We can't allow this to be swept under the rug. We have to hold both Republicans and Democrats accountable. And we've got to hold ourselves accountable for the mistakes we made in 2024 so that we don't repeat them in 2026 or, worse yet, 2028. We don't want to let them slouch into the future wins because we're afraid to do what we need to do. We need to run hard, like Christian always says. We need to go after them the way they go after us. We can't just say, oh, this Epstein thing is going to blow over. Or that people don't want to talk about it. No, people want justice for those victims. They want justice for those little girls that their lives were destroyed. We did have a fake shooting recently. Y'all might have heard of it. There was a little hotel ruffle up and a fake shooting. And that's how I'm gonna address it. It was fake as fuck. The guy shot his gun 8 times in a hotel screening area lobby and didn't hit anybody. And he was way far from the ballroom. It wasn't an attempted assassination. The only thing he assassinated was his character. And if the Secret Service really thought he was a threat, how did he survive? Why didn't they just take him out point blank? How did he travel cross country on an Amtrak train with all those guns? Who helped him? How was this arranged? And it's for sure proven that family turned him in on his manifesto days before the shooting happened. And there's so many inconsistencies on how the Secret Service handled the vice president and president. There were so many inconsistencies with the reactions with certain people in the audience. It was very clear that the people in the know did not feel threatened, and the people that did not know, especially the reporters, were panicking. Everybody says it. Nobody in the administration is denying it. And the sickest part is they're just really using it as an infomercial to sell the concept of the ballroom again. And they've upped the price. They originally started at $200 million. And now, according to Trump's first reaction of pitching the ballroom after the shooting, was that it's gone up to $400 million now. Wonder where that money's going to go to. Wonder how crooked this is going to be. How big of a scam this is. I mean, they're always scamming. It's always going to be a grift. The whole ballroom thing, this whole shooting. And I think the biggest part is Trump just didn't want to go up there and flop around. Like, one of the reasons he's never done one of these press correspondence things is because he would never be as witty as Obama when Obama did them. In fact, Obama openly made fun of Trump when Trump was in the audience for the correspondence dinner. And the only reason he did this one was to put on the show, have the shooting cut it short, and he said they're going to reschedule it, so theoretically. And also, by the way, this correspondence thing's been going on for decades. They never needed a private ballroom on the White House lawn before. How many public events does he do at his sleazy golf motels and all the MAGA rallies?
And he goes to UFC fights. He goes to, tons of huge events.
He went to a UFC fight just a couple weeks before the Correspondence Center.
George, we have a question for you. And I thought about this. I'm not sure if it's appropriate to ask you this question on your show, or we can do it on the coffee show. But do you think that Trump, in some ways, is somewhat to blame for people hating him so much?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the fact that people hate you so much that they want to attempt to assassinate you, you would think that like a logical person would go, okay, maybe I need to be like a nicer person.
But here's also the problem. This guy was not an assassin. This was a dog and pony show, just like the Pennsylvania fake assassination in 2024. This is designed to gin up support for whatever is going on in his life. They got him sympathy in 2024 when he wore that maxi pad on his ear for 3 weeks. By the way, he has no scars on that ear. There's no visible scars. Mm-hmm. A rifle bullet went through his ear, but miraculously completely but he's still hunched over. If he's that great of a healer, why isn't it applying to the other things?
Yeah.
If he's in that healthy, that's number one. Number two, these aren't normal assassinations. These aren't assassination attempts. These are as fake as fuck. Case in point, I can't remember where it was or which airport it was. There was a shot fired or a shot like sound, and when he heard a real random shot, he didn't get up and pump his fist like he did in Pennsylvania in 2024. He didn't just sit there and smirk like he did this year. He was panicked, and because it wasn't a put on, the Secret Service actually moved him off the stage very rapidly. They didn't let him get up and pump his fist or sit there and smirk with his big old fat head. The reaction to the Secret Service and the reaction to Trump, Captain Bone Spurs especially, guarantees that these are fake. This guy is a coward. He's in a lifetime of cowardice. This guy is not brave whatsoever. He's petrified to go to prison. And he's a coward. He's a pedophile. And ultimately, he's a loser. And it proves out time and time again. And this guy is not brave in the face of bullets at all. But when he knows it's a put on and it's a dog and pony show, he's going to perform like the reality TV show host that he is. The 2026 and 2024 fake assassination attempts were shows. They were as real as a WWE match. Okay, it's high drama to create drama to make him look larger than life. Or in the second case, the 2026 one, is to pitch his defeated ballroom project, to revive it, get support for it, get funding for it, and get it going again. And that's all it was. It's just a sham. It's a grift to keep this MAGA wheels turning because they're doing so badly. That's the thing. Is that two things are in play. They're doing so badly, and the Democrats' cowardice and stupidity is that we were accessories to his election in 2024 because we screwed up. We didn't have a long-term plan. We didn't have a what if Biden's health and memory deteriorate. We didn't think about that. Now, he was old in 2022, 2023, and 2024, but we were afraid to discuss it. And it's mind-boggling that happened. You know, but this is nothing new. This is something that's been going on since MAGA existed. We're the only ones that can change it. I mean, we're the only ones that can oppose it. And the Democrat Party has to stay on it. They have to stay on it. I'm cautiously optimistic. But the race ain't over, and it ain't won. We win that in November with what we do right now. And that's how I'm always going to address that, because I'm done with Democrats laying up. Because we are too afraid to put on the pressure. We need to kick him while he's down and keep kicking him. Like we would if Stephen Miller's head was on a golf ball tee. And then yell for. But that's all we have for this week. And we'll have some more Two Queers in the Truck next week for you. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Bye, boo.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for watching Two Queers in the Truck. And as always, it's May. So it is warming up in some parts of the country. So summer is probably upon us. Be cautious out there. Be safe. And know that Memorial Day weekend is coming up in a few weeks. Which is both a fun holiday, but also a dangerous one as well.
Yeah.
So just awareness, lots of tourists out, that sort of thing. But have a safe and prosperous May, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye, y'all.
Hi, everybody. This is Yorense from the Americo show over here. All I'm here is doing a little quick PSA. Use this summer to do volunteer work. Go to your nearest YMCA. Go to your nearest homeless shelter. Go to whatever community services or programs that you can help out and volunteer. Because right now, we have a bunch of fascist pieces of shit trying to rip apart our country and rip apart the people, our communities, by spreading hate and bigotry. The best way to combat it is, one, working in your community and standing strong to show that you are strong and you're here to help out others. Two, combat misinformation. If you hear bullshit, first research and make sure if it's true or not. If it is not true, call it out. If it is true, get the facts. Be knowledgeable of it, because it might come out later. So always stand against that. And three, fuck fascists. Stand against them. Make them feel uncomfortable. There is too many people out there feeling like they can say the hard R or say slurs or be violent. Make them understand that a lot of people died to make sure this hatred and bigotry does not exist. All our civil rights workers, all the people who stormed Normandy, everybody who fought against intolerance and hatred, they died and worked their asses off to stop this. So follow in their footsteps and stop this madness. This is Yorense again from the Americo, and all I can say is be there for your community and stand up for what's right. Fuck fascism and have a wonderful day.